Again there, YouTube fan, this is the Creepy Doll Man here, back with an all-new episode. It is October the 19th, 2017. Time is 2:04 a.m. We're back, and I bring up this ordeal is not just topic. This is actually telling the true tale of how the Creepy Doll Man got his got his name. And I would be considered the real Creepy Doll Man from Louisville, Kentucky. And I'll tell you my true stories right now with this doll, Cheyenne the Haunted Doll, and other events that went on in this very room, my bedroom. Let's begin first, where I came from. Okay, before I became the Creepy Doll Man, I will not give away my true identity until I have to take the challenge with the Creepy Doll Man. Real reality challenge is over, but I will give you very little detail about my life. Okay, I was born and raised here in Louisville, Kentucky. I think I was born at somewhere at Baptist East Hospital, or Baptist Hospital is where I was born at. I was born here August the 24th, 1973. I was born at the time, I think 7:28 a.m. in the morning. I'm not giving my mother's and father's name away on the end of their name, just their first. My father's name was James and my mother's name was Helen. I've been born and raised here within the ordeal. I was born and raised at 116 Waverly Court in Louisville, Kentucky at 40206 is the zip code. I was born and raised there for probably about a good 10 years of my life when I was a little kid growing up. We live in a one-bedroom apartment, have a very little space for a kitchen, and you had to share the bathroom with other tenants upstairs. And I think the bottom downstairs was bigger than the upstairs. I think the apartment downstairs was much bigger than the one we were living in. But they had like 3 apartments. The bottom downstairs was bigger, and it was to another family that can afford it. The rent man, we had a very nasty rent man. He wasn't a very nice rent man down the road. But, we lived there for a while. We moved place to place, several places. Also moved to Shawnee Avenue. Then we moved to Thompson, and then we moved here. Now, I'm not going to give the address away until after this real reality challenge is over with. So, we moved here. I was growing up, and I lived around here. A lot of people knew me from school. I went to Benjamin Franklin Elementary, and also went to Meyzeek Middle School, and I also went to Shawnee High School, where I graduated in the class of 94. But, things happen for a reason. And, a lot of people probably if they see this video, my friends, a lot of people may know me. But, before I became the Creepy Doll Man, I was just who I was, plain old who I was. I ain't giving my name out till after this ordeal is over with take the real reality challenge is over. But, a lot of people knew me. I was growing up, and I didn't come from a rich family. A lot of people are not rich these days. A couple years last year, I ran into Sissy. Probably before, I don't know, it was before, I don't know, 2013, probably about 2013 or 2014 I ran into her. Sort of a dumb luck. We hadn't seen each other since she was a teenage girl or a teenage woman. Used to run around my sister. My mother knew her mother and her brother, so, we knew her as Sissy. We didn't know her real name. Sissy was probably a nickname they called her. But, she used to run around with my sister when she was young. And, that's just how it is. And then things happen for a reason. It was fate that brought me into, running into her by accident. I ran into her and she gave me a ride home. And I took her back to my place where I lived at, and she said hello to my mother, and then things went down the road for a reason. Now, before then, I didn't get the name Creepy Doll Man until afterwards. until she brought a lot of goodies. Brought all those different things, clothes. She brought some jewelry from me. Some of it real, some of it fake, his costume. Some of it was actually real. I had some that was 10 and 14 karat gold. And it was yellow gold. And I still have that to this day. What she gave me before she died. I wouldn't give up the gold or silver she gave me. Or anything else. And I kept some of the cheap jewelry too. But it was a blessing to get to see her, and she used to do odd jobs. And in these odd jobs, she would give us slightly used items. Used items meaning everything she gave us. Excuse me, I'm having problems with my hands holding the cam and all that in a certain way. But she gave us certain things, and I was sort of blessed to get to know her again. So it's been so long. She came back and forth bringing us stuff for several years here. Finally, the last year, she brought us a lot of stuff. She got to the point before she stopped bringing it. She gave us a bag full of goodies. Now, a bag full of tongue-tied. Bag full of goodies. That's what I meant to say. Before she bought it, I made a wish. I would say it would be a dark wish. You got to be careful what you wish for. Now, I went to eBay, and I was looking up haunted dolls, I was kind of curious, and I was obsessed mainly with Annabelle for many, many years. And when I first heard about it, when the movie came out. Never saw the movie. I've been hearing things about the movie, though. But, that's just how it is. And then I made a dark wish in my head. I said, I'd like to have one of these haunted dolls that look on eBay up. Well, I didn't have the money at the time. But then 2 weeks later, then here comes Sissy. She bought a lot of garbage bags, It's about 25 or 30 garbage bags. We couldn't tell what was in them because they were black garbage bags. We had to open them up and find out what was in them. Most of them had junk in it that wasn't worth anything. Some have stuffed animals, clothing for dolls, and then dolls in there. And I have found a couple from my mother that I gave her. Particular, when I pulled the first one out, it was Rapunzel. And it had long braided hair, and there was a couple other dolls my mother kept. I pulled out probably 3 or 4 for her that she kept. And then I got what you say, luck or dumb luck, finding this one. When I found her, she didn't have no clothes, nor did she have socks or any shoes. So that was kind of weird, and she didn't have a stand. I went back and looked in the bag. I found her a stand. And then I found a dress that, it barely can fit her. Because, she's slim. She could fit in a 16-inch doll dress. And that's what this is on her, I think. Or probably a 17-inch. But, I gave it to her and put it on her. Then I found a pair of shoes off another doll put on her. And then I made her a custom pair of socks and a custom chain that I have around her neck right here. It's a very little thin gold, but it's 10 karat. Cross is silver plated, I think, or silver. It has cubits in it. It's a cross. And then I found another, doll. I found another porcelain doll, but it was in much worse shape. It didn't have the rocking horses had to be fixed, and I had to fix the rocking horse. And I had a friend of mine fixed it for me. And then I found a few other dolls. And it's about, found a few in there. Before long, she bought me one last doll. Because Sissy got into it, I think, with my mother. It was about money. And the last doll she brought me was Maria. And then after that, long things go down the road. And, it didn't stop there. So, it kept on going. That this ordeal did. I had some encounters with this doll, and many other things went wrong with this doll when I first got her. I didn't know what to name her. A lot of you know the name is very famous. She was named after a young woman who had a crush on me, and I showed love and respect for this young woman. It was only a crush and nothing more. I used to have a crush like that on one of my teachers. It lasted for 3 years and 6 months, this crush did. So she famously got her middle name, Cheyenne. And then things started to happen with this doll. Before we found out a lot of other stuff about this doll, it got out of hand. Check out part 2 for the next part. Check out the second half for the next part of my episode. Continues.